Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Sotah, page 40, which discusses the special procedure of the Cohein, the Kohanim, that they would stand in front of the congregation and they would give a special blessing, Birchas Kohanim, also known as Nasias Kapayim. They lift up their hands and they say the special three sentences as is found in the book of Numbers. Now, one interesting thing for anyone who's ever attended a synagogue service where this has taken place, the Kohanim don't just go in front of the congregation just as they're dressed, but rather there's something that they do first. Namely, they take off their shoes. And only after they take off their shoes, then they bless the people. Now, the truth is that when it comes to serving in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash, there were no shoes. When it came to the Cohein, or even the high priest, he did not wear shoes or socks. He was completely barefoot, so much so that he's actually not allowed to wear shoes. His feet actually have to be in direct contact with the ground. Now, when it comes to this, in which we're not talking about in the times of the temple, but in a synagogue, the Talmud gives two interesting reasons why the Cohen takes off their shoes for this ceremony. The first one, the Talmud tells us, is because of literally kavod tzibor, showing honor or respect to the congregation. Now, the way that they used to wear clothing, which was one long cloak, the garment would go all the way down to their sandals or shoes. Essence, it would be covering up their shoes, you couldn't see them. However, when they would be lifting up their hands, it causes their garments to be pulled up. And since their garment gets pulled up, it causes that their shoes or sandals are now exposed. People could now see them. Now, it wasn't like the shoes that we have nowadays that we want to make sure they're nice and spotless and clean. It's very possible they're muddy and dirty and filthy. And in the event that during this special ceremony, the Kohen would display their muddy, dirty shoes, this would be something which would show a lack of respect and honor to the people, that they would be gazing upon such shoes. Now, this in itself is unbelievable. It shows the importance, even if you're a Kohen, even if you're a leader, you have to make sure that you're always showing respect to the people around you, which includes the way that we dress. We cannot just dress in a sloppy way. It's very important to dress appropriately and respectfully, and if a person doesn't, that actually shows a lack of respect for the people around you. So if you go to work and you have stains all over your clothes and they're wrinkled and you look disheveled, it's not just a reflection on you. You're actually showing that you don't care about where you're going and what you're doing. And therefore, it's a poor reflection on the company. And that's the reason why a lot of places you have to wear a special uniform. They want you to be dressed in a certain way because it's a direct reflection on your job, and other people will either look positively or negatively based on the way you're dressed. Now, interestingly, the Talmud gives another reason. The Talmud says that what would happen if he was wearing shoes, and maybe because these are not such great sandals, one of the straps may break off. And because he's busy fixing his shoes, mending them, or making sure that they're tied properly, since he's so busy in his shoes, he may end up missing his opportunity to bless the congregation. And people are going to say, hey, how come this guy didn't go up there? I thought he was a Cohen. Must be because he's an invalid Cohen. He's a halal. He's someone who perhaps his father, who was a Cohen, married a woman he wasn't supposed to, and they ended up having a child who was this person, and he's not really a valid Cohen. Now, of course, that's not the case. It's just that his shoelace broke or something happened to his shoe. But this, again, shows the great sensitivity. We want to do everything we can to ensure, even though this seems to be such a remote possibility, it's not going to really happen, but we don't want to take any chances, that we don't want this person to look bad. And so much so that when it comes to in our lives, we also have to do our best to make sure that what we are doing and what we say always lifts a person up and makes a person look good and never look bad.